Friends, hi.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
I hope you guys are good. I hope that you guys are well.
First of all,
In a sad note, but a very important note for me,
I just want to take this time to send my love and my thanks to Ravi Zacharias, my favorite apologist of all time. Literally changed my lenses.
could not have done another YouTube without pausing and saying thank you for the person that he was and the contribution that he did in my soul. With the King of Kings, receive your soul. I respect the man that you are, and I thank you for implanting in me the seed of peace and full understanding and full knowledge. So thank you. May your soul rest in peace.
Listen, though it's not Transformation Wednesday, forgive me, please, because to be honest, yesterday was technical difficulties. It had nothing to do with me. Everything was apologies for the late reply. I could tell you why. Okay, no, let me not tell you about my life. It's not about my life.
In today's wonderful episode, I have Noni, who goes by the name of Miss COSMO.
Miss Cosmo. Noni. Uzande kamarad. Uzande kamarad, Noni. AKA means you're actually a homie. You're a homie. I thank you for who you are. I thank you for sitting with me. She knows the whys. And she is very meticulous about the way she conducts her life. That's one of the things that I truly admire about her. Like, there's purpose in the things that she does. Noni, I appreciate you.
Thanks, Holmes. Thank you.
Stay tuned and subscribe and share. That's a good thing to do. You can subscribe and you can share. Yeah.
The first question is diarrhea or constipation?
Wow, Vanessa. Why
Or do you want like
questions?
pads or tampons?
I prefer diarrhea because at least it's coming out. I always say rather out than in. I hate the feeling of feeling so bloated that you can't do anything about it. So at least when you know it's coming out, you can run somewhere, handle it, and then continue with your life. Do you know what I mean?
Completely get you. What's the first thing you notice about a person?
What would it be? They smile. I think also because a lot of people say this about me, where they say I always look like I'm angry or whatever. And then when I smile, I look a little bit more approachable. So you normally get to see like the brighter side of a person when they smile. So I think that's the first thing that I'll see.
Most memorable birthday?
Am I allowed to have 3?
Of course.
Best birthdays has to be my 20th, my 21st, and my 30th. My 21st was great because I had umemulo. Umemulo basically is like a ceremony celebration for the 21st birthday. Usually it's for virgins, but you know, we live in Joburg. I'm not gonna elaborate on that. It's basically, it's a Zulu tradition of a coming of age of a young girl who's basically becoming a woman. And they normally do it on their 21st birthday. In the heart of Santon, which was really great. We had a whole ceremony, we slaughtered, and basically what you do is you have a hat and you go around and people kind of pin you with money.
Oh wow.
Which was really awesome. So obviously I collected some racks on that day. And then right after that, then I hosted one of the most epic house parties ever. And then I got really drunk. It was awesome.
When are you happiest?
When I'm DJing for a really awesome crowd. I think that's one of those feelings that'll never die. And I think that's why people can DJ for like the rest of their lives, because that feeling is exhilarating. It's like adrenaline.
What's your inner voice telling you about your next best move? What do you feel like your next chapter is?
My next chapter is my music. I've treated my career very strategically in the sense that I felt that sometimes to be in this entertainment industry, you need longevity. So for me, it's more of a marathon than it is a sprint. So I started out with DJing, I honed that skill and I got it right. Then I moved into radio, I honed that skill and now I'm getting it right. And the next step for me is making music. Now it's different because on the last single I was kind of forced to sing on the chorus, so now people are expecting me to do that on all of my songs.
Absolutely,
So
I won't even lie to you.
So it's a new journey for me now to have to.
Listen, you better do it, dude. My expectation is so high. I can tell you as a people, because I'm a little bit of the people.
What do you mean as a people?
As a people, as a consumer, dude, I can tell you that like I'm very excited for your next one. I want to know what octave you're gonna go in this time.
There's a single coming, but I'm working on a project for this year. We'll see.
Let's make a visual album while we edit.
Oh, Vanessa just wants to charge me for makeup. We'll see. I don't know.
If
Vanessa just wants money. I don't know. Vanessa, Rouge and I were talking about it the other day. We were like, Vanessa, it's like she just sits there one day. She says, how much do I feel like charging them today? And then she'll say, 20 rand. And then next week when you call her, 100 rand for you today. And you're like, how? But Vanessa, last week it was 20 rand. Why am I paying 100 today? Yeah, Rouge and I are onto you. But it's fine.
Because sometimes you tell me the budget. Sometimes I fall with the budget.
That's the problem.
Yeah, you have to fall with the budget. We come from far. Merlene, seriously, Merlene, and she's a makeup artist. She's actually very nice. She told me, you see, you're starting with these girls. There's going to be a time one of them may not pay you what you like. Don't go out there and tell your business on the street. And number two, get what they're getting you. Because the industry is so small. That one person is down, but people are down for 2 seconds. They rise up. So when someone tells you that I have a budget of this, just take it, bro. Tomorrow when they're up, double that budget. You understand? You see?
Vanessa's Joyela.
What is your truth?
You must put subtitles there. Vanessa, Uyas Joyela.
What's your truth?
What do you mean truth?
What do you think anchors you every day when you're making your decisions? So what do you think that's that campus that like every day you're like, man, this is me?
Honesty, communication, and prayer. Because for me, I find deceit to be the biggest like deal breaker for anything. Like, and I understand like, okay, fine, we all do this as humans. Yes, all of us tell like small lies. But by small lies, I'm talking about like, oh, I'm running late, or oh, I can't make it, oh, I'm feeling sick, or whatever. Those small lies I can get over because those are small little white lies. But for me, it's the where you sit down and you literally plan that you're going to be deceitful. That, for me, is like you actually had the opportunity to try and be a real person, but you chose to rather give me a fake version of you, or to rather come up with a complete falsification of a situation to better yourself. Prayer for me is important. I've become very spiritual over the past 3 years. Not necessarily church-wise. So I don't go to church as often as I should. And sometimes the guilt also eats me as well, because I'm just like, ish. I could have gone to church, but I chose to sleep.
Yeah.
You know? But what has happened for me in the past 3 years has maybe been my realization of how important it is for me to have a relationship with God, and have a relationship with my ancestors, and have a relationship with myself. There's been plenty of times where I've been like, yo, how did I get through that? And I know it wasn't me, it was definitely God. And it was also with the guidance of my ancestors and things like that. So I'm trying to just tap into that a little bit more.
What are you grateful for?
Always grateful for life. I'm grateful for opportunity, the people around me. I have a good circle. I'm an empath in the sense that I can tell when somebody is good for me and when somebody is not. Like I listen to my gut quite often. So I try to keep real people around me. And if I feel as though something is getting a little off the rails, I have no problem cutting that person out.
Yeah, that's good.
I've got zero problem too. Because I don't need bad vibes in my life. And I don't need yes men. I don't need people to be rooting for me even though they're rooting for my downfall. I'd rather they root for me to try and build me, you know. So I'm very thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for my team. I'm thankful for my family, for my love, things like that, you know. So
do you know what Noni will tell me? Have you registered your company? How's your books sounding? She's got the bank calling her and she's moving money around. So like you know, I get a lot of people get to sit here, but then like you pretty on top of your money thing. But anyways, can you tell us where you're from?
So I studied BCom Finance at the University of Johannesburg. I worked at a bank for 4 years. I was in commercial property finance. Commercial property finance is basically financing of properties that are for commercial use. So if you are, for instance, buying a shopping center, or if you are buying a industrial factory, or if you are, even if you're a small business and you just want to buy a house and convert it into an office, I used to assist with clients to purchase their property. So I would go in, see the property, go in with the evaluator, motivate to the credit department why you qualify and why you can actually get this loan from the bank. So that was my job.
Do you miss it?
Not a single damn thing. No.
How was the transition for you?
I don't miss it at all because I was also working in a very racist environment. Like, I was the youngest person in my team, and I was black, and I was female. So I think it was just all like way too much too soon for a white Afrikaans bank. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was still receiving financials in Afrikaans when I was working there. So it was still very like hard. I learned how to be a professional by working in the bank. So those are the types of lessons that I took from working there. How to send an email, how to respond on time, how to arrive to meetings on time, how to be presentable. Over and above that, also taught me how to carry myself as a business. So registering a company, registering with SARS, registering a bank account, learning how to separate business income to my personal income, paying myself a salary, things like that, which are important from an accounting perspective.
And the transition? The first month after the savings ran out. And you're thinking to yourself, and obviously family members were like, just go back.
No. Well, firstly, no one told me to go back.
Oh, that's
I was never going to go back. All my dad said to me was, don't ask me for money. Because I was no longer his problem. I need to I'm an adult making adult decisions. Asking to leave. So I wasn't asking for money. With regards to finances, because I've always been money savvy, I've always known how to plan ahead. At the time when I did resign, I had already made other plans in place. So I'd already started at 5FM. I still had Channel O at the time. I was also gigging a lot more because I was on these platforms. So that also helped. What also helped me was that when I left the bank, I paid off all my expenses. So I literally was debt free when I left. And then I accumulated debt by virtue of getting a personal loan, so that I could just like invest back into my brand and invest back into the house and stuff, buying furniture, buying equipment, things like that. So that was all I literally had to maintain. My car was paid off, my cell phone was paid off, everything was paid off. All I had to manage was just like insurance, which was a small amount at that time.
Would you advise that to someone else?
Yes. I would advise it if you are starting out as a business, because you don't want expenses. What you would rather do is get whatever equipment and stuff you want upfront, so that when you're running your business, you don't have something to think about at the end of the month. You're only just literally covering the basics, which is food, petrol, insurance. I always say, use your insurance the way you're supposed to use your insurance. This thing of, hey, don't claim, hey, after 5 years you'll get your rewards, they'll always find a way to not pay you those rewards, or somehow there'll be an issue. I've had my biggest fight. I've been to the ombudsman. I've had all these fights with regards to a claim, and then I didn't get my money or whatever. So I say use your insurance when you need to. There's options for people who don't earn money, because they understand medical aid is very important. So there are health options, there's hospital plans, there is the very minimum key plans, very small ones, where if you're only earning maybe say 3,000 Rand a month, there is a medical aid option where you can pay maybe say 700 or whatever, just for you, because it will just cover you to make sure that should you get into, God forbid, an accident, you'll still be covered when you go to the hospital. Maybe you won't be able to get things like medication and stuff like that when you need to go to like the clinic day to day over the counter stuff. But should you need an operation, you're covered.
What's the biggest lesson you learned from your dad?
Work for what you want. When I wanted a car, he said, okay, if you want a car, you need to produce certain results for your matric results. When I wanted to go on my first overseas holiday, I needed to go and work at his office and do certain things first before I could earn that trip. I think he instilled the work ethic in me. I think that's the one thing that I'll always take away from my dad is I must always be independent enough to work for the things that I want for myself.
Fuck, kill, and marry.
Oh my God, why am I here?
Sugar Smacks, euphonic, or pretty ugly? And pretty ugly, who would you do what with?
I'd kill Euphonic.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would kill me too. I probably would.
Open your eyes.
I'd probably shag pretty ugly.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, he's got a nice body, you know. And he's a dancer, so obviously he's busy. And yeah, I'd marry Sugar Smacks because he's my homie and I know he's a good guy. And
Yeah.
he's a family man and, you know, he's doing the things. So
Yeah.
he's the guy.
Which hip hop woman artist would you be in South Africa? You had to choose for one day, be someone.
From an artist perspective or a person perspective?
Can you give us one on each?
From an artist perspective, I'd probably be Rouge because I think she's the best rapper we have in South Africa. And I didn't say female, I said I think she's the best female rapper we have. And she's also a really dope performer. She puts a lot of work into her art, so I dig that. From a personality perspective, I'd probably be Muesli. I don't think people realize how much of a clown she is. Like, and she's a genuine like clown. Sometimes I sit and I think and I look at her and I'm just like, how do you think about that? Like, how does that even get into your mind? You know? Like, she's carefree and she's nice to everybody. I think that's the one thing, and I've told her this before, like I always used to shout at her like, you're too nice now, and also people take advantage of you because you're so nice. But it's also a positive because she's a nice person. A lot of people like her. She's a really dope person. She's obviously got the swag on lock. But I think the biggest portion is because of how funny she is. She's hilarious. 3
habits that you believe would change someone's life.
Time management. Definitely, because people take that very seriously. And that's why I know it's one of my biggest flaws, because I'm definitely working on... I'm on time for gigs, funny enough, because the money's in, so I must be on time.
I feel the exact same.
Hard work. I don't think people realize that, yes, everyone can get opportunities, but it's harder to keep them. So I think constantly working hard. I think setting goals. Have something to work towards.
Do you do a vision board?
Every year. I don't meet half of the stuff, but you know, we try. But vision boards I think are important because you also kind of get to go back and be like, oh, I didn't do that. Oh, I didn't do that. So vision boards. Oh, and if I can add a 4th one, have a to-do list. It helps to be able to cross off and say, okay, I did that, I did that, I did that. By the end of the day, you're proud of yourself because you've been productive. But also over and above that, you've been productive.
What's the hardest thing in the hip-hop industry that you found that people probably underestimate?
Being a girl in the hip-hop scene, like, I think that's the one thing people, and I know people always say, oh, feminist, oh, always crying, oh, always want attention, oh, always talking about the girls. And I'm like, well, the same people who are always going, why are you a feminist, are the guys, because the guys don't want to admit that they don't give the girls a chance. And it irritates me so much because I see how much work the girls are putting in, because the girls put in way more effort from having to look a certain way. Sometimes guys literally just jump up from their couch and they go and perform, and then they go back to their couch and watch Netflix. Whereas when a woman has to perform, she has to have the right hair. We need to come to Vanessa and pay her for the makeup. We must also then get our hair done. If that's a different person, that's another appointment. Then we must make sure we have our outfits right, and we're not allowed to repeat outfits, so that's a stylist. Then you must make sure that you have your choreography right, because you can't just be standing on stage looking like a Popeye. Then it's your music must also then be dope. Obviously, the music is what's gonna sell for you to get the performances. But like, there's so many aspects that go into being a female. I remember once actually even having this conversation where I had one gig on a Thursday night, and Naked DJ was there, and obviously I played after him. So he looked at me and he was just like, "Is this your only gig for tonight?" So I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, so you had to do your whole face just to come here?" I'm like, exactly, that's the problem, is that I have to put on my look to make sure that I'm taken seriously. I can't just pitch up here with my cornrows and my baggy eyes and my slops and come and say, "I'm Miss Cosmo, I'm coming to DJ." Even as a DJ, I still have to look a certain way. Set aside the performers, you know what I mean? So that's just an appearance perspective. Now it's also getting your music taken seriously, where I actually sat and the one time I was at like a conference, and I asked people, and I was like, "Okay, cool, who here has listened to Nasty C's album?" Everybody put their hands up. I was like, "Great stuff." I was like, "Okay, who here has listened to Nomuzi's album?" And only like 4 people put their hands up. I was like, "But why?" They're like, "Oh, you can't compare the two." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. They're 2 different artists. Yes, I understand. But did you listen?" I'm not saying you have to buy the album. I'm not saying you have to engage it. I'm not saying you have to book her for performances. I'm not saying you have to do any of that stuff. Have you taken the time to listen? You won't know how great the album is unless you hear it. So if you're not going to hear it, you're going to keep saying, no, these people are female artists are whack, what. But how do you base this opinion on people being whack when you don't listen to their music?
How do you overcome that now? Now that you get that answer, what do you think? What's the next best move? When you get an answer like that no, and the majority of people say no, they haven't. How do you think, like someone like Nomuzi or you as a DJ, how do you get better at that? Do you force that down their throat on your slot? Like, how do you think we can override that?
I don't know. I just, like, for me, that's why I always try and see if I can create like platforms for females. Or maybe even outside of creating platforms, it's also just like pushing their music in places where I am. I try to keep things as fair as possible and try and keep everybody as equals, as opposed to saying overriding the female vote or overriding the male vote. A big question for me is every year at the SA Hip Hop Awards, we only ever have one female winner, and that's for Best Female. I wonder why. Because a guy can't win that award. You know what I mean? But I mean, then you go back and you look at streams, and then you look at, for instance, Boiti was nominated for Best Single for What's Dead. She didn't win that award. But when the streams and the facts and the information came out, she outplayed everybody with regards to her streaming numbers. And it's like, okay, but the person who won that award, did they get those numbers? They didn't. So why are we downplaying the girls and their effect and how much work they're putting in? Do you know what I mean? So those are the things that irritate me, and it's irritating also because I thought those things had been overcome because I've been like in this industry for so long. But every year something always reminds me, we're back to square one. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's just constantly pushing and having to work 200% more than the guys, I guess.
Do you think you were pushed for your album by the people that needed to push it? Last year you did your single. Did you feel what maybe Boiti may have felt in that situation? Yeah, part and parcel, because I mean, I get it. The bigger consumer, not even the hip hop consumer, just like the general consumer,
they want to see what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of people expected Boiti to actually knock it out the park as much as she did.
Hardcore.
She
I didn't.
confused a lot of people,
Yeah.
myself included. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, I was also like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Until you engage, and then you're like, what? This is actually really dope. But how did we end up knowing that she was really dope? Is because we listened. So how are we going to know that the rest of the girls are that dope if we don't listen? And I don't know how to fix that. I think the pressure, obviously, for me to be able to like play this music and making my own music has been different, and that's why it took so long to actually make my own music, is because I had been in this platform where I was supporting and playing other people's stuff, and now it's like, okay, let's listen to your ear. And it's harder on the other side, and I understand why artists get emotional, because they feel like they're pouring their heart and soul into a song, and then you are on the other side of a Twitter hand and you're just trolling and saying, oh, your song is trash. Nobody walks out of studio thinking they've made a lukewarm song. Like, nobody, you know?
What have you learned from that experience? From this, let me not say that, the podcast experience and social media and that aspect? Because, you know, it's not like SABC kind of television.
I've realized that we actually downplay how powerful the internet is. And I say that by virtue of two things. One, my being on the podcast. Two, the internet age of artists. You have artists like, for instance, Aries, who doesn't get played on radio whatsoever because he doesn't create radio edits. So it's hard for us to play his music. But it's fine. He doesn't care about that because his fan base lives on the internet. The podcast kind of kept me relevant for 2019. And with that, it was alarming to see how many people actually watch it, because I would go to places like Qwaqwa, I go to places like Queenstown,
No ways.
I go to places like deep in the Eastern Cape where people are just like, oh, this is so dope, oh, we really love the show. The point I'm trying to make here is that everyone's always just like, oh, mainstream media is where it's at, people only have TVs and radios. And I'm like, well, now you can see people actually have the internet. They're making a way to actually have access to watching YouTube, because why would people in those so-called removed areas know the show? And this is a show.
In.
Exactly. So let's not take it too lightly. I think it's really dope that internet is becoming so accessible and people are watching it all over their phones. Smartphones have become cheaper to allow for kids to be able to watch it on their phones as opposed to having to go to a computer. Do you know what I mean? Data prices are going a little bit lower. Shout out to the Competition Commission, just by the way, because now they're leveling out the data prices. So that's going to do a world of difference with regards to YouTubers and internet kids, because they'll be able to create a buzz on their own without needing mainstream media. So I say we're moving into a better position, and I can't wait for that to take effect.
Do you think SABC is dying?
Definitely. The SABC will never die. It's just getting frail. There are those people who can't afford data or can't afford a smartphone who will watch SABC. So it will never die because there'll always be that market that needs it. The unfortunate part about the SABC is just mismanagement. So I just think from that perspective, it's not dead, but I think once data prices get really cheap and more affordable, and streaming speeds become faster, it's definitely going to start knocking on that death door.
What's your 10-year goal?
I want to be able to have started other businesses, maintain them long enough for them to still be there for 10 years. Started a family. I'm not too sure about marriage, but like definitely kids. I want to live overseas for at least about 2 years.
You've told me that before.
Yeah.
Why?
Just for a different experience. I've lived in Joburg all my life. I'm bored. Be able to go and learn different things and then maybe come back and implement them. I'll always come back to South Africa. I think that's one thing that traveling has taught me, is that there's no place like home. So I would want to go just to take in information and then come home.
Why not marriage?
I've been through a lot of heartbreak. Men are trash. And yes, I said it. You know how guys are. Oh, no, men are trash. Men are trash. Worse when we went through that whole gender-based violence situation last year, and then everybody was tiptoeing around the idea, and everybody was acting like, oh no, but it's not me, it's them. Everybody was pointing fingers. There was a whole list that were dropped, personal people that we know personally, and now you start looking at them and you're just like, but people don't. I don't think guys realize when they do things like this and when they violate women, and they think that they're being okay when they're actually not being okay. They don't know how to treat women, and I think it stems from like generational behavior, how men used to treat women in the past and have passed down those mannerisms to their children, and so the cycle continues. Yeah, like I've been cheated on way too many times for me to
just go in blindly.
To go in blindly with regards to marriage. So for me, I want children, and that's why I considered IVF, because I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna do this life thing on my own. Maybe I'm going to carry these kids on my own, and that's fine. I don't need to have somebody accountable. Let me rather go to a sperm bank as opposed to going to a man that I'm gonna resent for not getting involved. Do you know what I mean?
So believe in love.
I will always believe in love. Being in love and being in a marriage are two different things.
Why do you say that?
Because being in love with somebody is you now saying, yo, I want to dedicate my life to this person. I want to be able to be with them forever. I want to share every aspect of my life with this person. Do you know what I mean?
Do you believe in that?
Yes, I still believe in love. I do believe I can be in love. I do believe that I can find somebody where we can share the feeling of being in love. That will always be possible. However, I do feel that sometimes people don't realize that marriage is more than just love. Marriage, and I say this, obviously I've never been married, but I say this from seeing family members and friends go through marriage, tell me their problems within their marriages. It's not that easy. It's nice to be in the marriage, but now when you have to maintain the marriage is a different thing.
Correct.
So being in a marriage is a whole other ball game. Being in love, very possible. Very, very possible.
Best concept.
Beyonce live at Coachella. What do you mean? Nothing will ever top that. I've gotten to a point where I don't even want to go back to Coachella because I'm like, I went to Coachella. Like, there's nothing that can top that for me.
That's okay. Best advice you've received?
From someone telling me, but some advice that I've just heard in life is don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that's with everything. Life, love, finances, health, everything. Just don't put it all in one basket. Make sure you diversify. Yeah. The best thing that happened to me in the past 7 days, I made my boyfriend cry.
Why?
Because I bought him a really special Valentine's present.
Oh no! Dude, that's so deep.
I loved it. Shit, it was cute.
Did you cry?
No. I literally just sat there and I looked at him and then I laughed. And then I said, okay, let's get ready because we have to go to dinner. What would I tell my daughter?
About men.
About men. Always sleep with one eye open.
No, you stop it. I'm serious.
I'm being serious. You think I'm lying? Sleep with one eye open, baby girl.
So you never know.
You never know what they're doing when they think you're not watching. But also men are stupid, like they're sloppy as well. You'll bust them at some point. So sleep with one eye open. Communicate. I think that's the biggest thing about love. And have fun. I think people also forget to have fun. Do stupid shit, laugh at each other, tease each other. And if you can fall in love with someone, you can turn into your best friend. I think that's important. Because if you're gonna spend a lot of time with this person, you need to be able to be homies.
Yeah.
And if you're not gonna be friends and you're just doing this because you wanna sleep with each other, then it's not gonna last.
Yeah.
One thing that I would probably mention to my daughter about love, always make sure that he loves you more than you love him.
My mom's told me that.
because then you know he's in for the long haul. I don't know. I think we all look at our grandparents for that type of love because they stuck it out for the long haul. But you also never know how much stuff that they had to deal with that they just kept quiet about. So it's a great love, but what was happening behind closed doors, we don't know. I think a lot of people give up too easily these days, so maybe just try a little bit more.
What do you think you want to be remembered for? When all is said and done.
For paving the way for females, I still believe in the female artist in a big way. Yes, women are obviously making their mark now, which is really dope. But I still think there's more to be done, and I'm hoping I'll be able to do more for women in entertainment.
And also, you don't have a stomach.
I do. I have a fupa, and I hate it. But don't worry, because when you get money, life is suction.
Noni,
Yes.
I need you to say something.